Okay, watch this. Okay, watch this. This the part right here where he really fucks up at. And the only reason why I want to touch on this video is because this is where he fucked up at. And I just wanted to point this out because what he does here is he shows exactly why delineation is important. Peace. So it's just a couple of things that I want to address in this video real quick. I don't plan to be on here too long. I just want to make a quick video to address a couple of things that I saw this week that I didn't have a chance to go live or make a video about earlier in the week. But it's snowing out here in Georgia, so I had a little bit of time to slow things down a little bit and address some of this shit. So first of all, I want to deal with some of this Deontay Kyle um situation.
You hate on a nigga. I don't understand why you hate on me, nigga.
We don't understand.
Show love, nigga. It don't show nothing. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga love.
All we doing
nigga.
is getting money.
Show a nigga some love, nigga.
Wabbly dabbly.
Niggas out here don't love me, nigga.
They don't love.
This guy, I'm sure y'all know who he is. Most of y'all, if y'all watch this channel, y'all pretty familiar with who this guy is, and some of what his get down is. But lately, he's been going hard at foundational Black Americans and talking reckless and talking greasy and talking loud and saying a lot of nothing. And so I'm not going to deal with the whole tirade that he went on recently dealing with foundational Black Americans. There's just a couple of things that he said in here that I want to touch on in this video real quick. And then we're gonna move on to the next topic and get up out of here. Let me play this real quick.
Calling niggas names, checking niggas verification. What hood is this? What hood is that? Now, if we was gangbanging and killing each other, it would be a problem. But it's not a problem when a nigga asks where you from, and it's on the internet, and it's on the basis of a culture that we created out of oppression. You don't want to let other niggas participate in your culture because they come over here and degrade him, and you know the business of colonization better than anybody. These niggas is brave.
Okay. Real quick. That right there. You don't want to let niggas participate in a culture that we created. We don't want to let niggas participate in a culture that we created because a lot of them like to come over here and degrade us. But we know the system of colonization better than anybody. These niggas is brainwashed. So we supposed to let that slide. We supposed to let that slide when they come over here talking greasy and being disrespectful and doing all the tether shit that they like to do. We're not supposed to say nothing about that because we're supposed to go high when they go low. We're supposed to be the example of Pan-Africanism and how to get down, like we've always been. That's the thing about foundational Black Americans. We have a history of just being innately Pan-African. You know what I'm saying? And looking out for everybody, really, not even just Pan-African, but just about justice for all. That's been foundational Black American history. Justice for all. That's what we always been on. And so because we're no longer concerning ourselves with the justice of others, now everybody feels so entitled and suddenly we're wrong. And we're supposed to overlook the disrespect and the nonsense that come from these people that we try to drag to the across the lines of justice. We supposed to feel sorry for them and let them slide when they be counterproductive and disrespectful and all of that. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that.
Nigga, you gotta be ashamed of yourself, nigga. Real talk. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. All as you is.
Washed. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that come here from another country in search of the American dream when I know this shit is a nightmare. We're not going back and forth with no nigga that think he finna get some favor from these white people. I see you niggas that's born in America do the same shit.
Okay, watch this. This the part right here where he really fucks up at. And the only reason why I want to touch on this video is because this is where he fucked up at. And I just wanted to point this out because what he does here is he shows exactly why delineation is important. Throughout his whole tirade against delineation for foundational Black Americans, throughout this whole rant that he went on, he exposed why delineation is actually important. Why it's very important that we do why we do what we're doing.
Michigan head coach, that nigga ain't no tether. See?
Yes, he is.
And ain't slipping a motherfucking tether.
Yes, he is.
How many niggas have we seen tap dance and degrade Black people that are from America?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He said, Michigan head coach, that nigga ain't no tether. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Both of his parents are Trinidadian. He's not a foundational Black American, right? And I don't know why he brought that out because, as far as I know about the Michigan head coach, what's his name? Jerome. What's his name? Jerome. I forgot his name. Some of y'all know his name. Jerome Moore, I think his name is. Right? But as far as I know about him, he got himself caught up in the scandal, chasing behind these snow bunnies and all of that stuff. But he crashed out his own career behind that. I don't know anything about him really doing anything to undermine foundational Black Americans as a group. You know what I'm saying? Really using his platform or his voice or anything like that. Speaking out, talking greasy about Black Americans or anything like that. As far as I know, he hasn't done anything like that. So I don't know why he brought him up. Anyway, even though he's not a foundational Black American, he is, in fact, an immigrant, a child of immigrants. And so whatever he did is reflective of their culture. And all he really ended up doing was crashing out his own career. That's his business. You know what I'm saying? But that is their scandal to handle, though. It's not ours. So it's very important to point that out. No, actually, he's not foundational Black American. And it's very important to point that out because they try to use his scandal as an example of why they shouldn't be hiring Black coaches, Black head coaches. Put a stigma around hiring Black head coaches for some of these football teams, to use that as some type of excuse to say, see, this is why we can't give niggas no jobs and shit like that. These niggas don't know how to act. These niggas get around snow bunnies and don't know how to act. Nope, that ain't us. That ain't us. Both of his parents are Trinidadian. So that's their culture. Has nothing to do with us. And Stephen A. Smith, this really just shows how out of touch this Deontay nigga is. It really just shows you how out of touch he is because, first of all, we've been calling Stephen A. Smith out for decades. With his coonery, we've been on his bumper for decades. And he's an immigrant also. His parents are from the Virgin Islands or some shit like that. He's not a foundational Black American either. So again, you just showed us why delineation is very important. Because when these tethers get out here doing bullshit, they are easily delegitimized because they don't represent us. They don't speak for us. They don't come from our culture. They're not part of the lineage. So whatever fuck shit they got going on ain't got nothing to do with us. We don't got to bear the brunt of it. We don't got to wear the stigma of it because them niggas ain't from here. Yeah, that's why it's important to ask for niggas paperwork. Yeah, that's exactly why it's important. And so thank you for proving the point. Thank you for proving the point. That's all I really wanted to say about him. But there's something else I wanted to touch on while I have your attention. There was something else that I saw throughout the week that caught my attention that I wanted to touch on while I have your attention. And so we're going to switch gears real quick to get on some hip hop shit. But we still going to keep it FBA though. We still going to keep it FBA. Here, go right here. Because the other day there was a clip of Joe Budden's that kind of been going viral where he's calling out hip hop for not saying anything about the ICE raids, what's going on with the ICE situations, the shit that happened out there in Minnesota. He's calling out hip hop for being quiet on this situation. Let him speak for himself. Let him say what he said about it.
Listen, how pussy hip hop is. Oh, wait, hot take? Go ahead. I don't think it's a hot take. I'm sick of it. It's sickening. It's sickening to think of the hip hop I came from and the hip hop I was introduced to, and think of the hip hop that other people were introduced to, and how silent hip hop is on certain matters. You niggas is pawns, pussies, and fucking puppets. All of y'all don't have a voice to say shit. Everybody. It's too silent for me. It's too silent when you see Americans getting executed on American soil. And by America. Yeah, by America. And then they go on TV and tell you every reason that what you just saw is not what is. No time in my life could that happen and hip hop not be in an uproar. ICE, I don't see how you could be a Black person watching what's going on and feel safe. Or feel exempt. They haven't felt safe for the longest. We are in agreement. We in agreement with you.
Let me stop it right there because fuck what the mother niggas talking about. That's y'all get the point. Y'all get the point of what Joe Buttons was talking about. He calling out hip hop for not saying anything that's been going on with ICE, with this whole immigration situation and all of that. Now, like we've been telling y'all, us foundational Black Americans, we just minding our business. This shit ain't really got nothing to do with us. We letting other people handle their scandal. And so hip hop is an extension of foundational Black American culture. So calling out hip hop by extension, you are basically calling out foundational Black Americans, trying to shame hip hop into speaking out against what's going on with these illegal immigrants and all of that. But again, that has nothing to do with us as foundational Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand the tradition that he's talking about when he says, you know, the hip hop that I grew up on and the hip hop that I come from would have never been this quiet with all this shit that's going on out here. All this shit that's going on out here. Now I understand where he's coming from with that because I've spoken on that for years. This is a clip of me years ago. Shout out to my brother Afro Elite. This is me years ago doing an interview with my brother Afro Elite where I basically made the same point. But even though I was making the same point, it was for a different reason. You know, because I'm very consistent. I'm speaking on behalf of Black people and foundational Black Americans specifically. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very consistent with that, who I'm speaking on behalf of, the issues that I'm speaking to, the things that I'm raising awareness around, the things that I feel are important for hip hop to be speaking on and all of that. Because again, hip hop is an extension of foundational Black American culture. So things that affect foundational Black Americans at large, hip hop is supposed to be the voice, the vehicle, you know what I'm saying, to raise these issues and speak on it and give it a national and international platform. Hip hop has always been used as an instrument for those type of causes. And so I was calling that out years ago. Check this out.
Some of our favorite artists in hip hop in particular. When you listen to our album, there's nobody that's talking the way that we're talking. We're talking about the real issues.
They ain't talking like we talking.
Are affecting Black society today. Everything that's going on out here. Like I was explaining on the podcast recently, you know, we went through a whole 2.5 year period of a global pandemic. And not one rapper said a word. You know what I'm saying? Which is very strange because hip hop always been the mouthpiece for the people. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop always been a rebellious culture. That's the nature of it. That's what hip hop is. So it's like, do we really have hip hop today if nobody's not talking about these important issues? When we look at
okay then, well let's step it up a notch then.
Right? So I was making that point years ago. You know what I'm saying? When we had a lot of other stuff going on that was directly affecting us and foundational Black American society, and hip hop was quiet. I had a problem with that. And I was calling out some of my favorite hip hop artists. You know what I'm saying? People that I had higher expectations from, who wasn't saying nothing at all, and some people who were saying some bullshit. Some people in hip hop who was using hip hop to say some bullshit. Some of my favorites. I had a problem with that, and I was calling that out. So I don't know what Joe Budden talking about. Now you want to use your platform to raise issues because of what's happening with these migrants, with these illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Look, Joe Budden, if that's an issue that you feel is important to you, you got a big platform. You got one of the biggest platforms in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You're one of the biggest podcasters out there. You have a large audience. Go ahead and speak on it. Use your platform to speak on it if that's how you feel about the issue. But don't try to shame us. Be the change that you like to see in the world. You be the change that you like to see in the world. You speak on it. You know what I'm saying? But don't try to shame us and wag your finger at us. Because like I said, I've been on that. When nobody was talking about these things. Hold on a second. When nobody was talking about these things, me and my brother DJ RP Beats, we made a song called Plandemic. When everybody was scared to say anything, when they was trying to force these jabs on everybody, when they was trying to make it mandatory for people to get these jabs, you couldn't go to work, you couldn't go to school, you couldn't attend your loved ones' funerals and all of this shit that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, hip hop was quiet. They wasn't saying nothing. We was calling that out then. And so we made a song called Plandemic.
mRNA vaccines are a powerful way to protect our bodies against infectious diseases.
You gotta talk about this, John.
Here's a little story that must be told.
Who shot you? The nurse or the doctor? That needle in your arm was a wicked concoction. Moderna or Pfizer? Remember what I heard from Elijah. It's written in your scripture that the devil's a liar. Something to think about when you're watching the news. All of a sudden you're fearful and you're kind of confused. If Alan Dershowitz isn't a silent murderer, then why he won't debate reason Islam? This ain't the worst of it. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Let me remind you, who's really calling the shots in Wuhan, China? That paper mask make you feel protected? You scared to visit your parents and now they feel neglected? You blame Trump, but now it's Biden and you still rejected. Or should I give you the science on how they steal elections? I digress, but here's something to digest. These white supremacists dying off, quiet as kept. I digress, but here's something to digest. These white supremacists dying off. Plandemic. Plandemic. Freedom to choose, read them the rules. The question we all gotta ask: what is freedom to you? From me to you, it's the freedom to move, but freedom ain't free. What's the value of freedom to you? Freedom to choose, read them the rules. The question we all gotta ask: what is freedom to you? From me to you, it's the freedom to move, but freedom ain't free. What's the value of freedom to you? Ivermectin prevent high infection. Saying you really got that 10-4 kufi on, so Spotify they might reject no. From my perspective, there's some kind of weapon, and that Tuskegee experiment ain't the only thing that I could reference. There's Henrietta Lacks and plenty other facts. The dark history of medical experimentation on blacks. Now what if natural immunity could truly be the best line of defense, and that's what I choose to believe? You disagree, well that isn't of any consequence. You should have the right to choose if you truly was free. To keep the job, you gotta take the jab, and you can't sue the vaccine manufacturer. Who gon' take the rap? In the event I have an adverse reaction, I'm feeling like Kyrie Irving. What's the worst that can happen? I know the price, I know the value too. Your whole economy is based on the energy that I could produce, and nothing in this world can stop the truth. A pestilence from heaven, I heard the word in the garden of fruit. So why you think they deplatformed the minister? A lot of y'all is missing the backbone. Rizzo, what up? We need more like you that read more like you. But either this plot is plain to see, or we all psychic. Freedom to choose, read them the rules. The question we all gotta ask: what is freedom to you? From me to you, it's the freedom to move, but freedom ain't free. What's the value of freedom to you? Freedom to choose, read them the rules. The question we all gotta ask: what is freedom to you? From me to you, it's the freedom to move, but freedom ain't free. What's the value of freedom to you?
Still love to God.
Everything you couldn't be.
Nobody talking about godly composure in the face of these Nazis.
You know what I'm saying? And so I've been very consistent. I've been very, very consistent with raising issues for black people. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop was quiet for real. When hip hop wasn't speaking on what's going on for real. You know what I'm saying? I was holding the line so I could speak on these things. You know what I mean? When Kyrie was out here being crucified because he shared a link to a movie that these people didn't agree with, when they were trying to make him the biggest anti-Semite out here in the world, y'all wasn't saying nothing. Y'all was gonna let that man get crucified. Y'all wasn't saying nothing about it. Y'all was cool with it. Y'all was complicit. You know what I'm saying? Joe Budden talk about niggas is complicit with the ICE raids. Nah, y'all was complicit with that bullshit. You know what I mean? Y'all was just gonna sit around and watch the lynching take place, and y'all wasn't gonna say nothing about it. But me, I was on the front lines. I was very consistent. Defending my people, defending my culture, defending my lineage. You know what I'm saying? And also holding down the people like Kyrie Irving who had platforms that was willing to be advocates for us, that was willing to put it on the line and be advocates for the rest of us, to speak truth to power. You know what I'm saying? The ones that need the support more than anybody else, more than any of these other celebrities out here, these athletes out here who don't do shit for nobody other than themselves. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I've been very consistent. Like I said, we had to call out some of our favorite hip hop artists. You know what I'm saying? When we seen how quiet niggas was. You know, we made a record called The Fort. We had to call on the ancestor Baba Dick Gregory to hold us down so we could do a record called The Fort and make knowledge born. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop was acting pussy, like Joe Budden said. Joe Buttons, you wasn't saying nothing about this. You wasn't speaking on this.
That's what this is about. You talking to the fucking master, man. I said it ain't about entertainment.
Listen, I was disappointed hearing Nas rhyme with Lil Nas X. I realized these guys never valued our respect. Still, you my favorite rapper. I can't deny you the greatest at this. King's disease might explain your actions, like you got so big you lost touch. Spread your wings to an angel investor. My nigga bossed up, I love to see it. Ain't no jealousy hidden underneath it. Your venture capital portfolio was pure genius, like the lyrical annotation app. Your ways and actions made you look like you the smartest nigga that came from rap. But you was caping for Asian hate. That propaganda put black America in a scope. Inflation rates got us getting gentrified. I thought you would mention I fight for reparations. You rep for Asians, I question why. And since you working on a hip-hop museum, Latinos and Caribbeans claiming our culture, you agreeing? Or will you
Always put down, represent to the fullest. All the put down, represent to the fullest. All the put down, represent to the fullest.
You with this bike here can do more to change things than Hollywood.
Seem like all the greatest rappers turn boule now. Male hair units, that's the new toupee now. Beijing the beard just to cover up the gray now. Is it too much for me to ask of you to stay down? Shout out to Ice Cube, he the realest. But who's Talib Kweli's ventriloquist? He's compromised ever since Common got with Angela Rye. He been shilling for the Democrats, I can't even lie. And y'all align with so-called street politicians like Tamika Mallory and Mike Sean Lennon. CIP and Killer Mike, who was y'all kidding? Diddy held the vote hostage for all of 5 minutes. And Jay-Z said we was past lean. And we been waiting on the power move since last season. A lot of y'all pathetic niggas still sitting with Vlad, signing 360 deals, getting fucked in the ass. All I ask is that you
all the put down, represent to the fullest.
You gotta
all the put down, represent to the fullest.
Let me say this. We got to be fools. Nobody in the history of this planet ever got liberated through entertainers or athletes. Huh? Ask yourself that. Nobody. When you go to war, you don't go to entertain, you go to kill or be killed. We the only people that sit around and thinking athletes is a bunch of shit, man. Huh? You know any country in the history of the planet got liberated because of entertainers or only us, we tolerate that. But when America wants your ass to go to war, you ain't going blowing no horn. That's what this is about.
You ain't going blowing no horn. That's what this is about. R.I.P. Baba Dick Gregory, and that's a great point that he made, because even if Joe Buttons is successful with shaming hip hop into speaking up for these illegal immigrants against this whole ICE situation, even if he's successful with shaming hip hop and getting them to speak out, you got to understand, we don't look to entertainers to speak for us no more, Joe Buttons. That still ain't gonna move the needle, because you and some of the other celebrities who are pressured by the liberal entities that run the industry that y'all in, you know what I'm saying? Y'all paymasters who are from the left-wing liberal side of white supremacy, who tell y'all got to get out there and hold the line for these issues that ain't got nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? It's the effort at this point is futile, because we don't look to y'all for our cues anymore anyway. You got to understand that you're dealing with a foundational Black American society who is more politically sophisticated nowadays. You know what I'm saying? We're looking out for our own best interests. We're not carrying water for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because the energy is never reciprocated. We don't benefit from it at all. What benefits do we get for going out there, getting our heads bashed in by ICE and all these federal law enforcement trying to protect these illegal immigrants? What benefit do we get from that? What benefit do foundational Black Americans as a group get out of that? Nothing. Nothing. So doing something for nothing, that's just slavery all over again. We ain't on that. We ain't on that. So you go wag your finger at your fellow rappers in the hip hop industry and all of that, and try to get them to speak up, just like when they was talking about the Stop Asian Hate thing and all that. If you listen to the words of the song, you see I had to call out my favorite MC, Nas, when he was on that Stop Asian Hate shit, when they was demonizing Black people, trying to make us out to be the biggest anti-Asian hate mongers on the planet, and they was trying to make us out to be the biggest homophobes on the planet and all of that. Y'all wasn't saying nothing about none of this. It was us on the grassroots that had to defend our honor and defend our image and our culture, our lineage, to get all of this dirt and all of this mud up off of us and protect our reputation. You know what I'm saying? because nobody has more moral standing than us. Nobody has more moral capital than us as foundational Black Americans. So we can't allow that good reputation to be diminished by some nonsense. You know what I mean? But y'all wasn't speaking on that though. Y'all ain't have nothing to say about that. It was us that had to hold the line to protect that image and to protect that reputation, you know, to protect the work that our ancestors put down for everybody to be able to come through and benefit and eat off of. We had to protect that legacy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I had an issue with that. I'm like, hold up, Joe Buttons, Deontay Kyle, and all y'all niggas is out of line. Y'all niggas is out of line. You know what I mean? That's why we not letting everybody speak for us these days. We're not allowing everybody to speak for us these days. Like I said, we more politically astute now. We more politically sophisticated now. So you got to deal with an awakened foundational Black American society. Y'all not able to contend with this. Y'all wasn't expecting the delineation movement. This delineation movement got y'all in a tizzy, not knowing what to do with yourselves. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, man, quick video. I just want to come on here and address those couple of things. But y'all make sure that y'all tune in on Sunday with me and my sister Nicety Girl for our regularly scheduled episode of Sincere Love the Godcast, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, where we chop it up like we always do. Y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed already. Follow me. I'm at Sincere Love the God on all social media platforms. And make sure you follow my co-host Nicety Girl at Nicety Girl with the #1 on Instagram and without the #1 on X, formerly known as Twitter. But that does it for this video. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and Black love. We out of here.